Hello everyone, welcome back. Today is day 69 of my journey to learn Japanese. And the purpose of this series of live streams is to document my progress at learning Japanese, having started as a complete beginner. Now, my goal for today is to practice some more kanji, and for that we're going to be using the Lingo Command website, which is what we've got on screen here. So I'm going to press start now, and I'm going to go to the Japanese section of the website, and I'm going to study some vocabulary. In particular, in previous live streams, I've been practicing verbs. So what I'll be doing to start off today's stream is verbs 3. This is a set of about 25 frequently used verbs in Japanese. And to just kind of explain what we've got on screen here, we've got this table with the English words in the left column and the Japanese words, the corresponding Japanese words in the right column. And we can press here to get the pronunciation for these words.
変える、
But let's up the volume a little bit.
続ける、料理する、
And as you may have noticed, the words here are written in Romaji. So at a click of a button, we can view that in hiragana and katakana, or even hiragana, katakana, and kanji. Now, what I'd like to do is practice the kanji here. And so I think what I'll do to start off with is I'm going to take the quiz, and I'm going to basically what this quiz is. You've got that previous table now as a series of questions where the question is posed in English, and then we give the corresponding hiragana, katakana, and kanji for that word in Japanese. But to just kind of get used to this vocabulary list, I'm actually going to go the other way around. So I'm going to start off with studying this as viewing the Japanese and then writing the corresponding English. So let's zoom in a little bit. And we'll do random ordering. That scrambles the order in which the questions are asked. So this first one here looks like miru, which is, I think, to look at. And then this could be oeru, which I think is to finish. The question is it the transitive or intransitive version of to finish? Because I think you use owaru when it's transitive. So that would be if, like the student finished the homework. So I'm going to say that this is intransitive. Intransitive. Oh, it's transitive. So fortunately, we've got a, let's zoom out here a tad. Basically, we've got this grammar article here. Let's take a look. Oh, I see. Okay, so owaru with the W is the intransitive form. Good to know. Now, I think this might be ryori suru, which is to cook. And then this is owaru, which is going to be to finish. Intransitive. So this is when, for example, the movie finished, or the movie will finish. So in that case, the verb is the directs. Let's just look at the grammar here. So that's the case. So the subject performs the verb on the direct object in the case of transitive, and for the case of intransitive, the subject performs the verb just on its own. This could be, I forgot. To protect or to obey. So this is mamoru. And then this is kikoiru, which is to listen to, to hear. This next one here, to travel. Okay, so this is ryoko suru. Ryoko suru. So let's start that from scratch, just to kind of jog our memory. So this is miru, which is to look at. This is oeru, which is to finish. And that is the transitive form version of the verb to finish. Transitive. This is ryori suru, which is to cook. This is owaru, which is to finish, intransitive. Okay, so this is mamoru, which is to protect or obey. Let me just move the keyboard a tad closer. There you go. To protect or obey. Hikoiru is to hear. This is ryoko suru, which is to travel. What's this one? To pay. So let's just go to verbs 3. And we'll zoom out here. So to pay is harau. So this has a reading of hara. Hi there, PS7519. How are you doing? Are you also learning Japanese? So actually, this list of vocab is quite long. So what we might do is, let's just keep going. So, okay, this is to go up as in climbing. Is that noboru? Yeah, okay. Nice. How long have you been studying? Okay, so this is something keru. Could this be to continue? Tsuzukeru. Yeah, okay, we're getting somewhere. This looks like nomu, which is to drink. Setsume suru, to explain. Now this kanji comes up in like gakko, which means like school. So I think that this might be manabu, which is like to learn. Because of course at a school you learn. So that's kind of how I'm trying to relate these two concepts in my mind. Okay, so this looks like kiku, which can either mean to listen to or to ask. I think in this case it's just to listen to. What could this be? Could this be kairu, which is to change? Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so this is to like or prefer, which is I think konomu. Konomu. What's this one? To get tired, which is tsukareru. This final one here. To sell. Uru. Okay, so actually, let's redo this quiz, kind of do this in increments. So let's start off with like actually just trying to learn the, go from Romaji to English. So tsukareru is to get tired. Miru is to drink. Oh, sorry, that's nomu. To get tired. 4 months at a slow pace, in 2 months gonna give in, oh, that's amazing. Yeah, thank you. To look at or to see or to watch. Thank you. So let's see. Konomu, I think, is to like / prefer. Kairu is to change. Ryori suru is to cook. Then to finish, oeru is to finish. The question is this the transitive or intransitive form? I always get them mixed up. So this is transitive. And then this is to finish intransitive. Kikoiru is to listen to. That's to hear. So you might think, oh, to hear and to listen to, that should just be the same. But I think the distinguishment that I was trying to make when I was making this app is that, so I think this is to listen to. I think you use kiku when you're actively listening, like, oh, I'm hearing someone talk. Whilst for koiru, it's more like, oh, I heard a car drive by. Like you hear a noise, but you're not actively listening, as far as I know. Now, mamoru is to protect or obey. So it has like two kind of separate uses. You can use it as like, oh, to protect, or when you're like obeying the law, for example. Okay, so this is asobu, which is to play. Ryoko suru is to travel. Setsume suru is to explain. Uru is to sell. Nomu is to drink. Kanjiru, is that just to feel? Tsuzukeru is to continue. Manabu is to learn. Noboru is to go up, as in climbing. So like to go up a tree, for example. And then harao is to pay. Cool. So now that we've kind of familiarized ourselves with the romaji, let's try this one more time. So this could be to look at, miru. This is kairu, which is to change. This is rori suru. By the way, this second kanji here with the reading of ri, we also know it from rikai suru, which is to comprehend or like to deeply understand a topic. So that's cool. So this is rori suru is to cook. Oeru is to finish. Transitive. This is to finish. Intransitive. Kikoiru is to hear. And then this is mamoru, which is to protect or obey. I think this might be asobu, which is to play. And then this is ryoko suru, which is to travel. This is setsume suru, which is to explain. This is to drink, nomu. This is tsuzukeru, which is to continue. Now, this is kiku, which can either mean to listen to or to ask. Now, this one here, this kanji, so I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. This kanji is also in gakko, which is like school. So that's how I always remember this. This is to learn, which is what you do at a school. So I think this kanji is just associated with like learning. Okay, so this is harao, which is to pay. So then the question is, there's one that's like to sell. Maybe this one? Yeah. Thank you. Best of luck with your N5 exam. Okay, so what's this? To go up as in climbing. So this is noboru. This is to get tired, which was like tsukareru. What's that one? It's konomu, which is to like or prefer. Finally, we've got this one, which is to feel, kanjiru. Okay. So I'm going to apply random ordering and go one more time. So this is noboru, which is to climb or to go up, as in climbing. This is ryoko suru, which is to travel. This is noboru, which is to protect or obey. This is tsukareru, which is to get tired. Kairu is to change. Oeru is to finish. Transitive. And then this one is ryori suru, which is to cook. And then this is manabu, which is to learn. Setsume suru is to explain. Tsukareru, no. Tsuzukeru, this is to continue. This is to like or prefer, konomu. This is to pay, harao. Koiru is to hear. And this is uru, which is to sell. This is to listen to. Asobu is to play. Nomu is to drink. Miru is to look at. That then leaves us with owaru, which is to finish. Intransitive. What's this last one? Something jiru. Let's take a look. To feel, kanjiru. Okay, so this kanji here is a reading of kan. So what I'd like to do here is to just do one final round, just to kind of cement this learning. So this first one here is noboru, which is like to go up, as in climbing. So like to go up a tree, for example. This here is asobu, which is to play. This is uru, which is to sell. This one here is kikoiru, which basically means to hear. But this is when you're listening to something passively. So let's say you see a car drive by, or you hear a car drive by. You're not actively listening, whilst kiku is like if you're listening to someone talk, you're actively listening. Ryori suru. Ryori suru is to cook. This is manabu, which is to learn. This is oweru, which is to finish. Intransitive. Oh no, it's the transitive form. Frustrating. Okay. This one here is kairu, which is, by the way, transitive versus intransitive. So transitive basically means this verb, the subject is applying this verb to a direct object. So for example, the student finishes the homework. So the finishing that the student does is being applied to the homework. Whilst intransitive would be like, oh, the movie will finish, or the movie finished. The movie is finishing without there a second party being involved. Kairu is to change. Kiku is to listen to. Okay, so this is owaru, which is to finish. Intransitive, so this is, for example, a movie that finishes on its own. Konomu is to like or prefer. And then this is setsume suru, which is to explain. Miru is to look at. Harau is to pay. Nomu is to drink. And then this would be tsukareru, which is to get tired. This is kanjiru, which is to feel. This is mamoru, which is to protect or obey. So it's got like two different uses. For example, obey would be like to obey the law or something like that. This is tsuzukeru, which is to continue. And then this one is ryoko suru, which is to travel. Okay. So I So I think what I'd like to do now is practice some kanji. But we'll probably have to do this in subsets because this is quite a long list. I think what I'll do is I'll select the first 10 verbs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hide the rest. And let's make a start. So I think what I'll do here is I'll apply random ordering. And I'm going to handwrite my answers. That way I can check the stroke order for the kanji. So to continue in Japanese, that would be tsuzukeru. So let's take a look at the kanji with the reading of tsuzu. Okay, so we've got this radical of 6 strokes that we're familiar with. And then this radical as well. It's got a total of 13 strokes. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then this has a reading of tsu, zu, and then we just put keru here. Now, of course, we took a look at the answer, so we'll classify this as incorrect. And then we're on to finish, which is the transitive form. So that's going to be oeru. Oeru. The kanji with the reading of o. It's interesting. So it's the same radical again. It's got 11 strokes. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This has a reading of o. And then you just put eru. Let's take a look here. This shape here could be a little bit better. Let's try that one more time. Okay, so to finish, this is the transitive form. So like, for example, the student finished the homework is oeru. Kanji for that looks like this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is a reading of o. And then we just put eru, like so. Okay, that looks good to me. So we'll give that a pass. And then we're on to change. So to change is kairu. Kanji with the reading of ka. Let's take a look. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is a reading of ka. And then the okurigana, which is just the hiragana that accompanies this kanji for this word, is eru. Okay, that looks good. We took a look at the answer, we'll classify as incorrect. Now to cook. To cook is, I think, ryori suru. I know the kanji with the reading of ri, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is the kanji with the reading of ri in ryori suru. Suru. The question is, what's the kanji with the reading of ryo? Okay, so this has a total of 10 strokes. So let's practice that. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 strokes. And this has a reading of ryo, so we're going to write a yun combination here. So a half-sized yo, put a u there. Let's classify this as incorrect. We took a look at the answer, of course. And I think what I'd like to do here is to just start from scratch. So to continue was tsuzukeru. The kanji with the reading of tsuzu, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then we can just put keru like that. Okay, that looks good to me. So to finish, transitive, that's going to be oeru. The kanji with the reading of o is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, this is the kanji in to change. So to change in Japanese is kairu. And the kanji with the reading of ka in kairu is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But we can put that bottom radical a little bit closer. So this has a reading of ka. And then we just put eru like so. Kairu. Let's submit our answer. Yeah, that looks good to me. So we'll give that a pass. Now to cook was ryori suru. If I recall correctly, this kanji had a total of 11 strokes. Let's start with the kanji with the reading of ri. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The kanji with the reading of ryo, it's got 10 strokes. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now the 7th stroke starts at about the same height as the second one. So it's more like this: 7, 8, 9, 10. 9, 10. There we go. Okay, so this has a reading of ryo. So we're going to put a half-sized yo followed by a u here. This has a reading of ri. And now we just put suru for a total of ryori suru, which is to cook. Yeah. So the kanji with a reading of o in oeru. So to finish, the transitive form is oeru. I just can't recall the kanji. Let's take a look. Okay, so it's got 11 strokes. So it's kanji with reading of o in oeru is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is a reading of o. And then we just put eru here for a total of oeru. So that then means that to finish, the intransitive form is owaru. The kanji with the reading of o is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This has a reading of o. And then we just put waru. Nice. One thing actually that I'm noticing is that the for to finish the transitive form, the kanji with the reading of o, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And these strokes, I think they go like that. So it's 10, 11. They go from top left to bottom right. Yeah. With a reading of o. 終える. So let's see what we can remember. So to drink is nomu. And this one's kind of interesting. So the kanji of the reading of no, it's actually the first 8 strokes of the kanji of the reading of kan in basically means like building. But then it kind of veers off. So then you just have this radical, which is like 9, 10, 11, 12. This is a reading of no. And then you put mu there. Let's see. To get tired is tsukareru. The kanji with the reading of tsuka. Let's go practice that. So to begin with, to get tired in Japanese is tsukareru. And the kanji with the reading of tsuka is a total of 10 strokes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this has a reading of tsu, ka, and then the okurigana, which is like the accompanying hiragana, is like that. Of course, we took a look at the answer, so let's classify that as incorrect. Just to kind of get that muscle memory going. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fine. Okay, so to continue was tsuzukeru. I think the kanji with the reading of tsuzu was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, how did I forget how this kanji goes? It's 1, 2. No. Let's take a look. Okay, so it's got a total of 13 strokes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There we go. And then this has a reading of tsu, zu, keru. Let's go back to the study table. So to explain a setsume suru and the kanji with the reading of setsu has 14 strokes. This is the radical, which basically means like to say or tell. So let's practice that. So to explain is setsu me suru. The kanji with the reading of setsu, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I believe so. This radical here means like to say or tell, which I guess is what you do when you're explaining. So it kind of makes sense that that radical is there. Then the kanji with the reading of me, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's try and write that more neatly though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I think that this has a reading of setsu. And then this has a reading of May. Hi there. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. 説明する? Let's take a look. So this indeed has 14 strokes in total, so that's good. And this is 8 strokes, so we've got a match. So that's fantastic. Now, to drink was nomu, and the kanji with the reading of no. Well, that was, funnily enough, you get this radical, which also comes up in kan, which is like building. So these 8 strokes, if you, well, that's basically the similarity there, but then it kind of deviates. So now you've got this radical, which is 4 strokes, so it's 12 in total. This has a reading of no, and then we put mu here for a total of nomu, which is to drink. So let's submit our answer and take a look. Okay, that's a match. Fantastic. Okay, let's try to cook. So to cook is ryori suru. The kanji with the reading of ryo, I believe it's come on. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? I'm just not sure about this radical here in the top right. Now, I think this is the kanji with the reading of ryo, but I do know that the kanji with the reading of ri is this one. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is a reading of ri. I'm glad that the streams are giving you some motivation. That's amazing to hear. Yeah, I don't think this is right either. We're gonna submit our answer and take a look. But this kanji feels off. I think the first 6 strokes hopefully are correct. Let's take a look. So this is ri. Then we put half-sized yo. Put a u there. And then we put suru. Yeah, you were spot on, Raijin Nonbi. This is a total of 10 strokes. This radical here is just wrong. This so the first 6 strokes was fine. So let's try and get that muscle memory going and practice this one more time. So to cook, let's just focus on that one kanji. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then this has a reading of ryo in ryori suru. So let's take a look. Okay, that looks better. I think what I'll do here is I'm going to take a step back from verbs 2, and I'm going to go over some previous verb lists that I've studied, just to kind of consolidate that learning, and then we're going to come back to verbs 3. So once again, we're applying random ordering that scrambles the order in which the questions are asked. It's like 2 lines plus cross. Yeah, exactly. Well done. Thank you for pointing that out. So I think to find in Japanese is mitsukeru. And the kanji with the reading of mi looks like this. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this has a reading of mi. And then this is tsukeru for a total of mitsukeru, to find. Okay, so our kanji is a match, so that's good. Yes, it's my own website. So I'm like a software engineer, and so I built this app to kind of teach myself and like foreign languages and help others as well. And so it's lingocommand.com. So feel free to try it out. It's free to use. By the way, I should point out, basically, I'm currently like coding some tools that there will be ads, and then you can upgrade to like a premium version, which would be ad free. But currently, you can just start learning with no ads, just because that's not even been implemented yet. Now, to be able to is dekiru, which is got no kanji. So what we'll do is we'll just write te, apply dakuten to get de, and then this is, what's this? This is ki ru. Notice that I'm leaving this gap here for the handwritten form of ki. So when you handwrite it, you leave a gap. When you type it, there is no gap usually. To understand is wakaru. Wakaru. So actually, there are two ways to say to understand, because you also have like, what was it? Rikai suru, but that's a little bit like too deep. It's like less used. I think it means to deeply understand or to comprehend. And I think that this kanji was something like 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this has a reading of wa, and then you just put ra, wakaru. Let's see. I would say our kanji is a match. So we'll accept that and proceed to the next question. So to make is tsukuru. Tsukuru. And the kanji with the reading of tsuku, I think, is a total of like 7 strokes. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this has a reading of tsuku. Tsuku. And then you just put a ru at the end. Okay, so we got a match. That's good. And then we can go to the next question. So to do, this is a super useful verb, is suru. This has no kanji, so we're just going to write hiragana. And then we have to have. To have, I think, is motsu. Motsu. And the kanji with the reading of mo, I believe it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this has a reading of mo. And then we just zoom out, put a tsu there for a total of motsu, which is to have. Fantastic. To go is iku. Iku. And the kanji with the reading of i in iku, it's, I believe it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so then this has a reading of i. And then this is ku. Okay, so that's another match. And then to come is kuru. Kuru. And the kanji with the reading of ku is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this has a reading of ku. We put ru there. Okay, so that's a match. Fantastic. And then to eat is taberu. Taberu. And the kanji with the reading of ta is this one. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not to be confused with like this one. So this comes up pretty often. It's like a radical. And it looks very similar to this. But it's good to not get them mixed up. So this has a reading of ta, and then we just put beru, taberu, to eat. Okay, so our kanji is a match, our hiragana is a match, so accept that. Oh, what is to arrive? I do not recall. I'm going to come back to that one, and I'm going to go on to believe. So to believe is shinjiru. Shinjiru. The kanji with the reading of shin in shinjiru is 1, 2. And then here we're just going to get that radical, which means like to say or tell. So it's a total of 9 strokes. And then you just put shi, and then this is an N. So that's the reading of this kanji. And then it's ji-ru. Great. To see is miru. So it's that same kanji that we saw in to find. But it's almost better yet to say that to find uses the kanji that we see in to see. Because that's what this kanji means. It means presumably to see, because I've heard that when a verb just has one kanji and then some hiragana after, that kanji 9 out of 10 times just means that verb. And it does make sense because this is the radical, I think, as well for I, as in the thing you use to see. So this is miru, to see. And then we're on to sleep, which is neru. Neru. And the kanji with the reading of ne, I believe it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Could that be it? Let's take a look. So we'll submit our answer. This is the reading, so it's got reading of ne. Let's zoom in. Give ourselves a bit of space here. And then we put ru. Fantastic, so our kanji is a match, so we'll accept that. And then we're on to give. So to give is ageru, and that has no kanji. So this is ke, we apply dakuten to get ge. Put a ru there, ageru. And then to be, for inanimate objects. So initially this wasn't quite correct on the website, so I made a fix. The question is this aru or is this iru? And I think it is aru. Because, yeah. So this has no kanji, so we're just going to write aru. That's a match. Fantastic. We can proceed. To put on is tsukeru. Tsukeru. And this has no kanji, so we're just going to write tsukeru. To know information is shiru. So the kanji with the reading of shi, it's I think it's 1, 2, 3. So this third stroke is wider than the second. And then the fourth stroke is going to start here. And that's the fifth. Well, let's fix the shape a little bit here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've got this mouth radical as well. And so this whole thing is a reading of shi. You put ru at the end. So that's a match, allowing us to proceed to the next question, which is to read. So to read is yomu. Yomu. And I suppose when you're... I don't really understand the justification for putting this radical here, which means to speak or tell. Suppose if you're reading out loud, you're speaking. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Zoom in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I think it's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then this has a reading of yo. And then we just put mu like so for a total of yomu. Yeah, let's submit our answer. This is indeed a total of 14 strokes, so we can accept our answer and proceed with the next question. So to be for animate objects would be iru. Iru. So for example, like the bunny is white, right? A bunny is animate. So you would use iru. Whilst if you talked about like a wool, wolves are inanimate, so you'd use aru, as far as I understand. So this has no kanji, so we're just going to write hiragana. Fantastic. And then we're on to call, which is like to call someone over. not to call with a phone. So this is yobu, yobu, and the kanji with the reading of yo, I believe it's something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then this has a reading of yo. And then we just put fu. We applied dakuten to get bu. Let's submit our answer. We'll take a look here. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. So we'll pass that. And then we're going to proceed to the next question. So to place, that's just oku, right? So kanji with a reading of o in oku. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then, of course, this has a reading of o. And then we put ku there. Hopefully that's good. Yeah, that looks correct to me. So we'll give that a pass. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm glad that you enjoyed using the website. That's very encouraging to hear. I'm always like making updates and fixes and trying to improve it. And of course, as my Japanese improves, I try and add new content. So yeah, to say or tell, that's iu. And you remember that radical that comes up over and over? This is the kanji from which it kind of comes from. So this is the kanji with the reading of I in iu. It literally just means, I guess, to say or tell. And then you just put a u there. So now we have to say or tell, iu. So let's submit our answer.
言う、
Yeah, that looks more or less good to me. So we'll give that a pass. And I'm going to go to speak or talk. So to speak or talk is hanasu. And of course, when you're speaking or talking, so this radical that comes up over and over, it's used in lots of kanji that are related with language or speaking or talking or anything like that. So it's not a surprise that we get this radical. So that's a total of 7 strokes. And then here, I think it's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now, the way that I kind of remember this is a mouth radical, that's a mouth radical. When you're speaking or talking, you have a conversation, which usually involves 2 people. So that's a little story I came up with, for the, like, why this kanji looks the way it does. And to answer your question, Raji, what level are you studying for fun? Yeah, so haven't really started this like N5 to N1 stuff. I'd presume I'm like working towards N5, but basically what I'm just doing is learning Japanese, and then as I go along, I improve the app. So that's kind of my my process so far. So this is ha, this is na, and then we put a su there for a total of hanasu. That looks good to me, so we'll give that a pass. So what is to arrive? It's not tazuneru, is it? Let's take a look. Okay, so it's tsuku. This is very interesting. So to arrive, apparently it's tsuku. And the kanji with the reading of tsu, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on now. Let's try and write this more clearly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Here it's got a reading of tsu. So in this context, I guess this verb means to arrive, but it can also mean like to wear clothes, because you see it in shitagi, which is underwear, where this kanji is a reading of gi, or I think kiru means to wear clothes, and then this kanji also comes up with the reading of ki. So this kanji is kind of interesting. It's got 2 unrelated meanings. Now, of course, we took a look at the answer, so we'll classify this as incorrect. So 96%, that's not half bad. We can now proceed, I guess, with verbs too. So yeah, let's give this a go. So to buy, is that cow? And then I'm going to come back to this one. Let's start with to walk. So I think to walk is aruku. And I think the kanji with the reading of aru is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But let's try and clean this up because this actually doesn't go down as far as I had it originally. I think that looks a little bit neater. So this has a reading of aru, aru, and then we put ku there. So let's take a look at our answer. Yeah, that looks good to me, so we'll give that a pass. And then we're gonna go to answer. Tricky. Okay, I'm just gonna start with the ones that I know. So to write is kaku, kaku, and the kanji with the reading of ka, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I miscounted a stroke. This is a total of 10 strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Okay, so this has a reading of ka, and kanji have like Japanese readings and Chinese readings called kunyomi and onyomi respectively. So I think that this is one of the Japanese readings, one of the kunyomi, because this also comes up in Toshokan, library, and there this kanji has a reading of sho. So just wanted to mention that. So to ask is kiku. Kiku. And the kanji with reading of ki, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this radical means ear. And this kanji has two meanings. It can mean to ask, or it can mean to listen to. And so, of course, you listen with your ears. So in that context, it makes sense. And I think just based on the context in a sentence, you have to distinguish whether we're talking about to ask or to listen to. So just wanted to point that out because it's kind of useful when you want to remember, for example, this radical here, because when you think of it as, oh, it's the same thing, same kanji as to listen to, things become internally kind of consistent, if that makes sense. Okay, so to carry is then to transport. I think that's hakobu. The kanji with the reading of hey, LMAO, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. O genki desu ka? So, let's see. Was this? Is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 11, 12. There we go. Okay, so this has a reading of hako. And then we just put fu. Apply dakuten to get bu for a total of hakobu. Yes, I have been streaming a little bit less. There were just like some kind of issues with the site that I wanted to resolve. So I've kind of been working on that. And then also, I've made all of the amendments for verbs 1 through 6. So I've gone through all of those corrections. So thank you so much for that. Now this is hashiru. Hashiru. So yeah, I've just kind of been trying to improve the website. So that's why I've streamed a little bit less lately. And I think that the kanji for this is something like this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that this has a reading of hashi. Hashi, and then we put ru there. Because I say this each time, oh, I'm going to stop improving the website and just focus on streaming. But then I find something to improve on the app and just get caught up in that. So to run is hashiru. Yeah, I think this is correct. Yeah, this was a total of 7 strokes, so that's great. Ah, okay. So thank you so much for pointing that out. So let's just on a new tab. Look at that thing for hakobu. So we're in the vocab section for verbs 2. Ah, did I write? I wrote it backwards. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll make sure to remember that. Thank you so much. So to order a product, that's 주문 suru. But yeah, I'm very happy with the adjustments that you suggested for the verbs list. I think it's looking a lot cleaner, and it just it's more correct. So that's fantastic. So the kanji of the reading of chu, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the kanji with the reading of mon is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this has a reading of, so we're going to write chi. Then we're going to write a half-sized yu to get that yun combination. And then this is mon. And now here we just need to put suru. Suru. And this is like a useful pattern in Japanese where chumon presumably means like an order, like the noun, like the item that you've ordered. And then when you stick suru at the end, that turns like the noun into a verb. So just kind of wanted to talk about that pattern. Okay, so to lose versus to win. This is, as in this is not to lose an item, this is to lose a competition, for example. So that's makeru. And I think the kanji with the reading of ma in makeru, is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? And then this has a reading of ma. And then we put keru. Konnichiwa, Ken-san, o genki desu ka? Okay, so this is makeru. I think that went fairly well, so we'll give that a pass. Okay, so to take, I think, is toru. Toru. And the kanji with the reading of to and toru, it's the way that I remember this is to take the ear. I came up with my R and N are connected. Sorry, let me try and write a little bit more neatly. Toru. So basically you have this ear radical here. And then I think it's 7, 8. 7, 8. And then this has a reading of to. And then we put ru here. Okay, so to open, Ah, awesome. Thank you. No worries. So this is akeru. And I think the kanji with the reading of a in akeru, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, let's just connect this here. And then it's 9, 10, 11, 12. So this has a reading of a. Presumably this kanji itself just means like to open, and then we just have, so it's called okurigana, which is like, I think the hiragana that accompanies the kanji. Okay, so that's a match, so fantastic. And then to stand up, that's tatsu, tatsu. So the kanji with the reading of ta and tatsu, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this has a reading of ta, and then it's tsu here, I believe. Let's take a look. Yeah, so I'd say our kanji is a match, so we'll accept that and then proceed to the next question. Okay, so this is kind of interesting, right? Because I think this is kiru, where the kanji with reading of ki is this one. So it's going to be this basically like a sheep radical. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, followed by the radical for I. But this kanji is kind of interesting because it's also in tsuku, which means to arrive. So it has two uses, I suppose you could say. Because I used to think that to arrive and to come was both kuru, but it's not. Okay, so our stroke order was a match, so accept that. And then we're going to go to sagasu. Sagasu. So the kanji with the reading of saga, it's like a series of radicals. So I think it's something like 1, 2. I mean, they all are, I suppose, but it's like 1, 2, 3, something, something, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, I think we had this. There we go. Okay, let's do this from scratch. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This has a reading of saga. Sa. And then we write ka, we apply dakuten to get ga, and then we just put su here. So our kanji is a match, fantastic, and we'll proceed to the next question. So to need is iru, but this time the kanji with the reading of i. So this is not going to be hiragana like to be for animate objects. It's instead this kanji. So it's going to be 1. No. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9? I think this is the kanji with the reading of i. Let's zoom out and submit our answer. I'd say that's a match, so we're going to accept that and go to the next one. So to sing is utau. And the kanji with the reading of uta, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These mouth radicals, it kind of makes sense to me, right? Because use your mouth when you're singing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so this is a reading of uta. And then we just put a U there. Our kanji is a match, so we're going to accept that. I'm going to proceed to the next question. So to dance is odoru. Oh, I keep forgetting this. I'm going to come back to that one. To close is tojiru. Tojiru. And I think what you do here is you just write these strokes. I think it's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then here you write 9, 10, 11. This has a reading of to. And then you just write jiru for a total of tojiru to close. Fantastic, that's a match. To live is ikiru. Ikiru. On the kanji with the reading of I and ikiru, I believe it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, this is not quite right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still not quite right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So this kanji is a reading of I. It's got 5 strokes. 1, 2, and the vertical stroke is the 3rd stroke, I believe. Now we just write ki, ru for a total of ikiru, which is to live. And the vertical stroke is indeed the 3rd stroke. So we can accept this and proceed to the next question. So to study is benkyou suru. And just trying to remember the kanji here. So there was this one, which is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This had a reading of kyo. The question is, what's the kanji with a reading of ben? I keep forgetting this. It's horrible. 1. Okay, we'll classify this as incorrect. I'm going to try and take like a 2-second look at the kanji, see how much that, like very briefly. Okay, yeah. That was enough. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this has a reading of ben. And of course, we'll classify this as incorrect because I took a look at the answer. So this is he. We apply dakuten to get be. So this is ben. This is kyo. And then we put suru. And we'll classify that as incorrect. So we took a look at the answer. And then to bring is motte kuru. Motte kuru. And the kanji with the reading of mo, so we've seen this before. I believe it's 1, 2, 3. Wait, hold on now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this has a reading of mo. And then we're just going to put sokon followed by te. So that places, it's a pause with extra emphasis on the T here. And then we write kuru. So here we just need to write kanji here with the reading of ku like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That has a reading of ku. And then, kind of running out of space here, we put a ru for a total of motte kuru, or motte kuru. Motte kuru. I think that's better.
持ってくる
So our kanji is a match, so we'll accept that. Okay, so there are two types of to think in Japanese. You have one for feeling and opinion, and then you've got one for logic or planning. So I think to think for feeling or opinion is 思う, and then this one is 考える. So let's start with to think for a feeling or opinion. So I think this is 思う, and the kanji for that is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this kind of wraps around the 8th stroke, which we're about to write. So this is a reading of o, mo. So write o, mo. Put a U there for a total of mo. Okay, so we passed that. Fantastic. Okay, so to buy is kao. I'll write this separately. Kao. And the kanji with the reading of ka, could it be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? And that this has a reading of ka. And then put a U there for a total of kao, which is to buy. Okay, so our kanji is a match. Fantastic. Yeah, of course, I'd be happy to show some of the changes on the website. Definitely. So, to answer, I have a feeling that the kanji is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on now. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But that these strokes here are a little bit too large. Let's do them like that. So kotaeru, is that it? Kotaeru? Let's zoom out. We'll pan a little bit upwards and we'll write our answer here in Romaji. So to answer, I believe it's kotaeru. I think that this has a reading of kota. Kotaeru. Let's submit our answer and take a look. Okay, we're in luck. This is all matching. So we'll give that a pass. And then we're gonna go to visit. So this is a personal visit. And I think that this actually is tazuneru, which you would use for like a personal visit, while it's like homon suru is like an official visit, like if you were to for example, if a journalist visits someone's house, it would be an official visit and you'd use homon suru. Well, here you do tazuneru. Now, the question is, what's the kanji? Could it be something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14? I don't think this is correct, but let's see what happens. So we'll put tazuneru. Okay, so I was right about this to speak or sorry, to say or tell radical, but this is completely off. So we just need to remember that this has 11 strokes. And let's just do a couple of reps for that kanji to get that muscle memory. So this is tazuneru, is to visit, like a personal visit. We start off with this to speak or tell radical, and then it's 8, 9, 10, 11. So this has a reading of ta, put zu there, and then the accompanying hiragana is this. Okay, so we took a look at the answer, so we'll classify that as incorrect. Okay, almost done with this section. Sorry about that. So to work is hataraku. And the kanji with the reading of hatara, which I guess just means to work, the kanji, it's could it be something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, no, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I think it's something like this, but let's clean it up. So 1, 2, swoop from top right to bottom left, go here, that's the fourth. Then it's 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you go down like this. Then this is 10, that's 11. And then we have like this kind of caught looking thing, like that, for a total of hatara. So we'll write our furigana here. So this is ha, that's ta, ra, hataraku. Okay, thank you. So that's good news. This kanji is correct. So we'll accept that. What do we have left? We've got to dance. To dance is odoru. Now, I'm thinking that there was something like this. Yeah, there was some type of shape here. But I just don't know this. So let's take a look at the kanji here. So, okay, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so this kanji has a reading of odo. And then this is ru. So we took a look at the answer, so we'll classify that as incorrect. And then we're on to begin. So to begin in Japanese, well, that's hajimeru. The question is, what's the kanji with the reading of haji? I have a feeling it had this at the bottom. Was there a radical like this? Let's take a look. Oh no, that's completely different. So it's got a total of 8 strokes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This has a reading of haji. Haji. Meru. Hajimeru. So that's to begin. And then we're left with, so this is a word that I added yesterday for in Japanese. You've got to think like, I think today's a lovely day, or something like that. When it's like a kind of emotion or an opinion, you'd use omo. But if you're like, oh, I think that if you if it's kind of like a logic or planning, you would use kangaeru. Kangaeru. maybe like if you're kind of explaining like your logic for like some type of question. For example, you're like the square root of 64, I think that's 8. In that case, you'd use kangaeru and not omou. So let's take a look at the kanji here because I have not studied this yet. Okay, so this got a total of 6 strokes. So this radical here, the first 3, we've come across that a couple of times. But then this, that's completely new. I haven't really seen that before. So let's practice that. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then we get this swooping stroke like that, followed by this little tick mark. And actually this stroke here reminds me of, so here it's 1, 2, 3. That's like the third stroke in kyo and benkyo suru. Anyways, enough yapping. So this presumably has a reading of kanga even. Okay. So we write ka, n. This is ka, we apply dakuten to get ga. And then this is ru, for a total of kangaeru. So kangaeru would be for like coming up with something, an idea, that kind of thinking. Okay. I will study the when to use which one a bit more carefully. Thank you for pointing that out. So would I like to see the score? Yeah, let's take a look. Why not? So you asked about like what changes being made to the website. So the first one, like the main one, is that for this verbs 1 through 6, I've made some adjustments. So let's just view this in hiragana. So let's see. I think we had of course, it's to think for like logic or planning is kangaeru versus to think for feeling opinion is omou. Then for verbs 3, what did we change? Yeah, so I've got this to protect or obey is mamoru. We've got this transitive versus intransitive discussion with like the grammar article. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, basically in Japanese, you've got verbs that you where there are two parties. So let's say like you're finishing some homework. You could say like, oh, the student finishes the homework. Here, the student, which is the subject of the sentence, is finishing, applying the verb on the homework. So two parties are involved, the student and the homework, and finishing is the verb. In that case, that's called the transitive verb. So that's oweru is the transitive verb for to finish in Japanese. Whilst if you say, oh, the movie will finish or the movie finished, let's say the movie will finish. In that case, there is no second party upon which like the verb finish is being applied. So you would use owaru. So it turns out there are like, I think a couple dozen verbs that come in these transitive and intransitive pairs in Japanese. So that's one change that I made, kind of discussing that. If we go to verbs 4, let's see. Yeah, so to help. So Paleo, you kindly pointed out that to help, there are two types of cases for that in Japanese. So you would use, let's just Control F for to help. If you're like, oh, could you help me lift this table? Or could you help me with this question like that we're doing in class? I think you would use the verb tetsudau. So this is for like a daily task when you're asking for some assistance. Whilst if there's like a crisis, like, I just got robbed or attacked or I'm drowning, you wouldn't be like, oh, please, can someone assist me for daily task, tetsudau? No, you'd use taskeru. So, and I don't think it's just for life or death situations. I think it's more a judgment call on the severity of the situation. So let's say you're asking your colleague like, hey, if we don't get this emergency fixed within the next minute, the whole company's gonna, I don't know, go bankrupt. Let's say like something very severe. I think even there it would be appropriate to use taskeru instead of tetsudau. So that was an adjustment that was made here. As well here, I think to wait for, I had o matsu. It's matsu. So that was an adjustment that was made. Let's go to verbs 5. So yeah, kasu, I think to lend is more appropriate than to loan. You pointed that out. For verbs, yeah, okay, so hakai suru, I think it's, hakai probably means like destruction. And then suru is turning, it's this pattern in Japanese that turns like nouns into verbs. And by the way, if I'm saying something and it's incorrect, anyone please feel free to correct me because I'm still definitely like a beginner at Japanese. But based on the research that I was doing and the points that people have pointed out, this is my understanding so far. So hakai means destruction, and then hakai suru, thank you so much. So hakai suru, I think means like, it's taking this noun destruction and turning it into to destroy. But it's more like a N4 and 3 level. Kowasu, I think, is a little bit like more frequently used. It's like a more basic word. So I made that replacement there. Yeah, I think for to rest, we had like a different verb as well. Okay. Now this is an interesting discussion. So to return, I spent like half an hour trying to figure out how to like briefly, concisely convey this concept here. So if you're like kairu, this is like when you're returning to some place that you belong, like your origin, your base. So that could be something like, I'm going home, but that could also be like the house that's your home. But it could also be like your hometown, your home country, just someplace you belong. And then modoru is like, you're returning, but you're just returning from someplace that you just recently left. So it could be you're returning to your office, you're returning to your seat, you're returning to school. But I think the main concept or distinguishment between modoru and kairu is the sense of home. So I remember, like, for example, in Attack on Titan, like, if any of you have watched that, like, there's this character who's always talking about, I'm gonna go back to my hometown. So he would use like kairu, not modoru. So yeah, that I think is the discussion for the verb to return. And that concludes like the adjustments that were made for verbs. Yeah, I think it was like kokyo or something was hometown. Kokyo ni kairu, something like that. So as for other adjustments that were made to the website, so there are a couple. So it's just little small quality of life things, but suppose you're viewing the app on mobile. Sometimes like, so there's this section on the app which is called like reading and listening. You can basically view a passage in multiple different forms. And the issue was previously, this content wouldn't really fit on a mobile screen. It was too wide. So now you've got this, it's still not ideal, but because like trying to view 3 columns on mobile as well, it's a bit much. But you've now got this kind of horizontal scroll instead of it just literally cutting off. So I think that's a little quality of life improvement. When you wanted to take notes as well, that would freeze the screen because it would, you can imagine on mobile, when you're drawing, it's the same as when you're scrolling. Whilst with a laptop, for example, with your mouse, you would like click or not click, whether you're dragging or drawing. So that fix was made. So this is a little quality of life kind of improvements for the reading section, especially on mobile. And then for the game section of the app, I've kind of been redesigning this. I've actually never really shown this on stream. So we could like have like a quick demo, I suppose. But basically, the title used to be below here, which, just doesn't make sense. So I've got the title. And there was also, I think, a little like subtitle. It was basically very similar to here. It was something like progress faster with points, ranks, and interactive challenges. But there's already enough here on screen. So I didn't want to distract the user too much. So I removed that. And then basically this leaderboard, because there's 17 people now, so that's great. It was getting a bit long. And so what I've done is I've kind of reduced the vertical height of it and added this scroll so that it doesn't take up too much screen space. And there's like another improvement. So on page refresh, you'll notice that my score here is showing. But let's say that you're a new user. Let's go back to light mode. And you go to the Japanese section. It kind of scrolls down to show you your position. So basically, no matter what rank you have, it shows you the correct part of the leaderboard so that you can see your own score. Because imagine you're like rank 500. You don't want to see ranks 1 through 7. You want to see your own rank and a couple of ranks above or below. So suppose that you were rank 11. It would do its best to kind of place you in the middle of the leaderboard with for the initial scroll position. And you'll see that if I refresh. You see how it scrolls down? So that's a little quality of life improvement that I tried to make. And then because people keep completing the whole thing, so we have 3 people, including myself, that finished the whole quiz now. So I'm going to make another topic. So initially, there were a lot of people that completed the game up to like 282 points. So I added advanced hiragana 1. So in fact, we can just play this. So I added this topic. And we'll just kind of run through it quickly. So what's the purpose of dakuten and handakuten? So the purpose of it is to change the pronunciation for certain hiragana and katakana characters. And so when you get an answer right, you get 3 points in the game. And let's just make a mistake to kind of show what that's like. So this mark here, it's actually called dakuten, but let's make a mistake, call it handakuten. So you lose 2 points when you make a mistake. And so this one is handakuten. And when you make a mistake, the question comes back later, just to kind of make sure that, did you pay attention? Do you now understand? So this one is dakuten, fine. And then let's say that so dakuten actually changes 20 base hiragana characters. Handakuten modifies about 5, which is the H row, right? Like the ha, hi, fu, he, ho becomes pa, pi, pu, pe, po when handakuten is applied on that cluster 5. And this was something I was faffing around as well. Like, what's the optimal way to like phrase this? Because I wanted to make the user understand these like general rules of thumb for dakuten and handakuten. So generally, dakuten turns a K sound into what sound? Is G. And of course, we can discuss like glottal stop, but I want the game to be kind of low barrier to entry. So you just kind of need to know, oh, S becomes Z, T becomes a D sound, H becomes a B sound when you apply dakuten, and it becomes a P sound when you apply handakuten. And then this here, so now we're basically going to just start asking actual characters. Let's say that you don't know. One thing you can do is you can press get hint, and this costs you 1 point. So let's use the hint. So you see that, okay, your total amount of points goes down by 1, and it kind of stores the question that you were asked. If you're kind of, ooh, was that a bug? So this should be page 2. So try and fix that off screen. But basically, this is this table that explains these rules of thumbs, how K goes to G, S goes to Z, T goes to D. So if we're interested in, what is Q with dakuten applied, we just go to this row here. Q becomes Gu. And so that's what this hint is. It basically lets you go to the relevant part of lingo command to see the answer. Costs you 1 point. But if you want to just look again, because you already spent the 1 point, for free, you can go back to this section. And thank you for saying that you like the perfectionistic quality of life changes. Yeah, I just want users to have a good experience on the app. So yeah, now when you press get hint again, you have to pay another point because it's a new question. So you only get this, per question. If you revisit it, then it's free. But if you go on to a new question, of course, you have to pay another point. So let's just kind of run through this. We have get, ga, ki, gi, and go. And now it becomes a little bit more involved because it's like, for example, usagi. I think it means rabbit, right? So now I'm kind of cherry picking words that actually have the stuff that we learned earlier in this game. So for example, this is eigakan. I think it means cinema. And so one thing that I do as well is I try and trick you guys by giving question or options that look very similar. So you have to read very carefully to kind of deduce what's what. So this is gogatsu, which is May. Notice that, this has got the handakuten twice. So that's nice. Ageru here. Guntai. Just trying to come up with one that had gu. So military or army will do. So now we just got 57 points. So you basically ascend, you go to a higher tier. So we're straight through to bronze. And now we can see that our position on the leaderboard has changed. Also on page refresh, you notice that it's placing this at the middle of the screen. And then you can press here if you want to save your results, or you can back out, go back to the previous page. And so you can do basically these series of challenges. So let's just speed run a few. So currently, right, we're bronze 3. So let's say that we want to get to silver 1. We need a total of 100 points. So let's just speed run that. So this is ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, kao, which means face, aka, which means red. So notice we didn't get to 100 points, so we don't get this promotion to like the next rank thing. And then it's like, oh, do you want to save your progress? Because of course, let's say that you go to a different device, you can't really carry your points, but if you make an account, you can. So let's not make an account just for now. So this is su, sa. The difficulty level's gone up as well a little bit because in the previous game it was ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, which is the standard order in which you'll get exposed to that row. Whilst here, I'm deviating from that pattern a little bit. So the questions get increasingly more difficult as we go on. Still below the level of the stream, of course, but with enough time. So basically, we just get a couple questions here. Uta is a song. Chisai, I think, means small. Atsui is like hot. Oishii is like delicious. Ashi is leg or foot. And then utsukushii, I think, is like fascinating. Or no, it means beautiful. What was fascinating again? Kyomi bukai, I think, was fascinating, and then utsukushii is beautiful. In any case, we're now past 100 points, so we should get our ascension up to silver 1 rank. So that was just like a little brief demo for the Lingo Adventure game that I've been building. So I'm just trying to keep iterating on this game. As for some other things, there's other stuff, but it's, for example, one concern of mine was, suppose that you make an account, but you typed your email wrong, and then you want to change your password. So one thing that I could do is I could straight up, the moment you make your account, say, oh, you can't proceed with Lingo Command unless you verify your account. But I think that's too aggressive. So actually now you can go to account settings, and you can decide if you want to verify your account. And I need to make some more decisions, like what's the best for the average user in that regard. But that's something that I was working on yesterday as well, like this kind of verification process. Because as well, I used to send an email like you need to verify your account to proceed, but that's no longer applicable. So that were some changes that I made. And then there's one other thing that I want to do, which is on the to-do list. So for me personally, I can go here to see my grades. But I've noticed that some people, when you want to see your grades on the quiz, it doesn't really make sense to go back here. So what I'd actually want to do is like say your grades as like a blue link here, and then it would show the same results, which I think would be nice. And then there's one other thing, which is like, so suppose you're doing the quiz, right? You're doing like Ude, Senaka, Mimi. So if I go to study, you're actually like losing the opportunity to save your score for this topic. So there should be a little screen that pops up and that says, are you sure you want to go back to the study section? If so, you'll like lose your progress on the quiz. Or if you change the settings, you're like, are you sure you want to reset the quiz? You'd lose your progress. So I've kind of been like storyboarding these little like improvements. But yeah, I think hopefully that answers the question on like what I've been working on. I could open like Notion and see what else I've been doing, but I think that covers a decent proportion of like the work I've done. I remember making quite a few mistakes here, so I think what we'll do is, but yeah, thank you also for asking, and once again, a huge thank you for all of your advice. I'm very grateful. And I think just these vocab lists are just starting to look a lot better because of it. Now, there were a couple of mistakes here, so I think what we'll do is we're gonna highlight hi, yeah, so this website, to answer your question, I think it's like Diamond, is this is called Lingo Command, and it's a website with an accompanying app that I built to help myself and other people learn foreign languages. And yeah, it's just lingocommand.com. So yeah, as for this, let's zoom in. So I remember I got the 3 here the wrong way around. This was fine, Tatsu was fine. Okay, so this one, kangaeru, I didn't know the kanji for that. To dance keeps going wrong. We'll pick that one, and I'll explain kind of like why we're using this approach here. So to begin, I made a mistake there. To study went wrong. To visit, for a personal visit, I got that one wrong. And so what I'm basically doing here is, I think there are about 25 verbs here, and I'm only struggling with what, like 6 of them. So if I keep repeating these 19 verbs that I'm familiar with, yes, so I'm like a software engineer, and I love coding. So, and this was like a project that I was just quite passionate about. So that's kind of like what we've done here. But yeah, to basically explain, so these 19 verbs that I already know, if I keep going over them over and over again, it's a little bit like redundant. So what I want to do is I want to narrow down on my weaknesses, which is these 6. So I'm just gonna keep making mistakes over and over and over until I get them all right. So please bear with me and let's make a start. So to think is kangaeru. And I think that this is 1, 2, 3. Then we have this swooping stroke here. That's the 4th one. And then it was like 5. And then the 6th stroke was like the 3rd stroke in kyo from benkyou suru. So it's like this. So now it's just a question of like where to place it. Like that perhaps? So I think that this has a reading of kanga. So we're going to write ka. And then this is ka again. We'll apply dakuten to get ga. And then there is some okurigana, right? That's the accompanying hiragana. So we're going to write eru. Let's just check if that's the correct pronunciation here. Okurigana, yeah. So I would say that that's acceptable. So I'm going to give that a pass. Also, there's one other thing that I want to check. So, because I was trying to answer like, what changes have I made? I'm just trying to quickly go through my backlog of tickets, week 17, 2026. Yeah, I think that basically covers the majority of that. So, okay, let's proceed. So to dance is odoru, and it's got a total of 14 strokes. So this kanji, start off with the mouth radical, and then it's like 4, 5, 6, 7. But this kind of needs to connect, so let's put that down a little bit more. So that's 7 strokes. And then I think it's like 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. We've got 1 stroke too many here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this is the 12th stroke. This whole kanji, right, it's got a reading of odo. O. And this is to, we apply dakuten to get do. Ru. So let's submit our answer and take a look. Yep. That looks good to me, so we'll accept that. And then we're going to go to visit. So to visit is tazuneru. Tazuneru. And the kanji with a reading of tazu. So we start off with this to speak or to say or tell radical. And this first stroke, it's too steep. So we should make it a bit more horizontal. I think that looks better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then it's 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, this is kind of tricky. I think it's something like this. So this has a reading of tazu. So here we're going to write su with dakuten. And this is a little bit tricky because I find this confusing. So you don't really know just by listening to the word what the correct hiragana is, because this is also zu in terms of pronunciation. Because like tsuzukeru, the kanji's furigana in tsuzukeru uses this zu, whilst here in tazuneru you use this one. So I guess you just sort of have to know it. And then again, in Japanese, you just write the kanji as well. So it also depends, I guess, how much you care about the furigana of kanji. So this is tazuneru. Let's submit our answer. I say that looks pretty acceptable. So give that a pass. And then we're on to the next question. So to carry as in to transport, that's hakobu. Hakobu. And the kanji with a reading of hako, it's I think it's got a total of like 12 strokes, but let's find out. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This 8th one is a bit wider. Then this goes down all the way over here. That's 10. And then this needs to be like a 3, but a little bit like, not like that, more like that. And then it swoops like this. So I think that's the correct way around now. Thank you so much for pointing that out. So this is ha, ko, and then we apply fu with dakuten becomes bu for a total of hakobu. Cool. This looks correct to me. So we'll proceed to the next question, to study. So to study is benkyou suru. Oh my god, I forgot it again. What's wrong with me? So the kanji with the reading of kyo in benkyo suru, it looks like this. It's one. No. 1, 2. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The question is, what's the kanji with the reading of ben? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so we're gonna write that kanji first. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then the kanji with the reading of kyo, we just wrote it. So it's 1, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this kanji is a reading of ben. Ben. And then this has a reading of kyo. So we're going to write ki. And let's zoom in here. So this is ki, followed by a half-sized yot to get the yun combination. Then we just add a u here. So it's like an extended vowel sound. It's ben kyo. Extended vowel sound. I suppose it sort of acts like that. And then here, we're just going to write suru. So we'll submit our answer. Our furigana is matching, our kanji is matching, everything's a match. So we can now just go to the next question, which is hajimeru. Hajimeru. And I think because these mistakes are kind of fresh in my mind, I think I even remember this one. So I think it's something along the lines of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But let's try and write this more neatly. So is it 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's zoom out. So this has a reading of haji. Ha. So this is she with dakuten becomes ji. And then we put meru for a total of hajimeru. Hajimeru. So our kanji is a match. So it seems like I managed to learn from my mistakes from the previous session. Let's just very quickly go over verbs 1. Let's see which ones did I get wrong previously. So we can zoom in here. Wakaru is to understand, but it's like a more commonly used form of to understand, whilst rikai suru is like to understand deeply. So that was an adjustment that was made fairly recently. Oh yeah, I think to arrive went wrong. So just kind of to cement this knowledge, let's do one quick round of verbs 1. We'll apply random ordering. So to speak or talk is hanasu, where the kanji with the reading of hana is this to say or tell radical, followed by strokes 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This has a reading of hana. And then we put su. Let me just very quickly do that again. Hana su. You may have noticed that the the hiragana in the answer was like in black, which basically means when you click on it, you can't see the stroke order. Not that it matters much, but it can sometimes be useful to just confirm. Basically, it says your display kana stroke option. That option enables that setting. So to make is tsukuru. And the kanji with reading of tsuku is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this has a reading of tsuku. And then we put ru here. To eat is taberu. The kanji with the reading of ta is that one. Cool. So for inanimate objects like the wall is white, you're gonna use aru. And I think it is good that I'm practicing this again because I'm still not very used to this inanimate versus animate objects. I previously mistakenly had it as temporary versus permanent. So let's just confirm. Inanimate objects, yeah, aru. Cool. So to understand, that's wakaru. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. This has a reading of wa. Ka. Ru. Realistically speaking, this is dekiru, yomu, shinjiru, motsu, oku, neru, miru. I just know these. So it might actually be better to just practice these few, which I'm not 100% sure about. So this is iru. And then to arrive, that's going to be tsuku. And here we're going to use the same kanji as the one which means like to wear clothes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But here it's got a reading of tsu, and we just put ku at the end.
つく、
Cool. That's basically all of the questions that might be tricky on verbs 1. So let's go back to verbs 3. And just practice these first 10 kanji one more time. So I'm going to select the first 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And let's practice this. So to cook is ryori suru. The kanji with the reading of ryo, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then the kanji with the reading of 9, 10. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so that's the kanji with the reading of ryo. And then the kanji with the reading of ri, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We know this from rikai suru. Rikai suru. It's the same kanji here. So let's just write our furigana. This is ri. That's yo, followed by yu. It's a yun combination. And then here we're going to write ri, followed by suru. Ryori suru. So our stroke order is correct here for this kanji with the reading of ryo. And of course, we're familiar with the kanji with the reading of ri. So that's good news. And we can go to the next question. We'll skip to feel for now. That's kanji-ru. But to finish, intransitive. So intransitive basically means that this verb, the subject, is doing this verb on their own. It's not being applied to a direct object or second party. So that would be owaru. Owaru. The question is, what's the kanji with a reading of o for owaru? Could it be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Or is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? So this is the kanji in kairu. This is wrong. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 10, 11. And I think that this radical is wrong. I think this is 2 strokes here. Oh, it was correct. No way. I guess that means I can classify this as correct. Let's just finish this. So it's O. And then we write our okurigana, the accompanying hiragana, for a total of owaru. Let's submit our answer. To hear. So to hear is kikoiru. Don't know the kanji for that one. We'll come back to it. To listen to. To listen to is kiku. The kanji with the reading of ki here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now we just do the ear radical. But the shape could be better, so let's do this again. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is a reading of ki. And then this is ku for a total of kiku, to listen to. To look at, well, that's just miru. I'm thinking of actually taking this off from the verbs 3 list because we see it as to see in verbs 1. But in any case, the kanji with the reading of mi in miru looks like this. So you start off with the radical, which like is I. So this is the 5th stroke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this is stroke 6. That's stroke 7. This kanji has a reading of mi. And then you just put ru there. So what does that leave us with? The kanji to feel, or sorry, to feel is kanjiru. And the kanji for that is a total of 13 strokes. So let's practice that. So here we're following something called like rainbow stroke order. So you'll notice, looking at this diagram, it's not that easy to see what's the first stroke. It's actually this red one that is behind the second stroke. The way that I know that is I'm following something called, these diagrams follow rainbow stroke order. So the first stroke is always going to be in red. The second stroke is always going to be in orange. The third stroke is always going to be in yellow. 4th in green, 5th in blue, 6th in indigo, 7th in violet, and then it loops back. So the 8th stroke is in red, the 9th stroke is in orange, the 10th stroke is in yellow, and so forth. What that means is, even though that I can't see the number 1 here, given that this is the second stroke and that is red, which is the first color, we know that this is stroke 1. Does that make sense? So this is stroke 1, that's stroke 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This seems to be a pattern. I think it's like some type of radical where you've got 4 strokes at the bottom where the second one wraps around the third. So this has a total of 13 strokes. So let's practice that again. So it was kanjiru is to feel. And the kanji was 1, 2, 3. Then it's like this mouth radical, 4, 5, 6. Then we have this swooping stroke, that's 7. Is that right? Or is it like that? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then this has a reading of kan. And then we put ji, ru. Yeah, so that was correct. Now, of course, we took a look at the answer, so we'll classify this as incorrect for now. Then we're going to proceed to the next question. So to learn in Japanese is manabu. I'm thinking that there's going to be a kanji here with a reading of mana. Oh, and it's just the same one that we know from like gakko, which is school. So that's fine. It's easy. This is one. Actually, this should be strokes 1, 2, 3. Then it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This has a reading of mana. So that's ma, na, and then we write fu. We apply dakuten. Once again, looked at the answer, so we'll classify as incorrect. But we're making progress here. So to play, as in to have fun, is asobu. Asobu. And the kanji with the reading of aso, presumably aso, and then bu is just going to be written in hiragana. Let's take a look. Okay, so this is a total of 12 strokes. So we start off with 1, 2, 3, 4. This radical, actually, we've seen this before. It's the same radical as the one in tazuneru. Tazuneru means like a personal visit, I believe. Yeah. And if we view that as hiragana, katakana, and kanji, we see that tazuneru has these 4 strokes at the end, which is the same radical as what we see here. So that's nice. And then this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This radical we've seen as well. For example, in manabu, right, we had like that. Those 3 strokes here are the same as the 3 strokes here, as far as I can see. So that's very useful. So now we're on stroke 8, 9. Then it's the same pattern as what we see in what kanji? In hakobu. So if we go to Japanese is kind of cool. So I think, if I'm not imagining it, if we go to takari is into transport in Japanese as hakobu. Now, look at this. So my theory is this 3 strokes here, that yellow one, the green one, and the blue one, that's the exact 3 strokes that we see here. So there's like some kind of repetition that we can use. So that's 10, 11, 12. So let's practice this whole thing from scratch. It's got a total of 12 strokes. To play is in to have fun in Japanese. That's asobu. And I believe it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it's like that manabu kanji, right? It's like the one that comes up there. It's like 1, 2, 3. It has probably a different meaning, this radical, because I think I've seen it in boshi as well. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then it's just this thing. So it's 1, 10. And you just write that 3 like this. And then you kind of swoop like that. But of course, we have way too much white space here. So I want to redraw this kanji, but like more compact. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so this has a reading of aso. And then we just need to write fu, apply dakuten to get bu. Yeah, so the strokes here are correct, but this 12th stroke needs to be a bit more diagonal from what I'm seeing. Okay. Or it's not even that. It's like if that's the 3, then this goes up and then down. That's the better shape. Okay, so to sell, I think is uru. The question is, what's the kanji? Let's take a look. So this has a total of 7 strokes. And I think actually, what is to pay? I think if we go to, is it to read? In the verbs 1 section. Yeah, so this might just be a coincidence that these 7 strokes also come up here. Because if this means like to sell, yeah, I don't think there's any logic here, because this kanji means to say or tell. And then if this is to pay, I don't really see how that would become to read. So I think I'm looking into it too much. So let's just ignore that and write the kanji. So kanji with the reading of uru is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this has a reading of u, and we put ru here. We took a look at the answer, so classify as incorrect. Kikoiru. Fantastic. So it's just that same kanji, which is like to listen to. So that's fine. And then the kanji with the reading of noboru, nobo. Okay, this is quite tricky. So let's practice this kanji. So to go up is in to climb is noboru. And the kanji with the reading of nobo, let's write that in red. It's got a total of 12 strokes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's a very difficult kanji. Let's see if we can remember that without looking. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then this has a reading of no. So this is ho. When you apply dakuten, you get bo. And then we put ru there. Of course, we took a look at the answer, so we'll classify the whole thing as incorrect. And then for to hear, so this is no problem, right? Because it's kikoiru. And the kanji with the reading of ki. So this kanji just means like to listen to. It can also mean to ask. But in this case, we're gonna consider it as like to listen to. So it's these 8 strokes, and then you put the ear radical, which makes sense, right? Because you hear with your ears. So this is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this has a reading of ki. And then here we're just gonna put ko eru, hikoeru.
聞こえる。
What I'd like to do here is go over this again and try and wrinkle out the mistakes. So to hear is kikoeru. Could it be that kikoeru and kiku are the transitive and intransitive pair of to listen to? Let's just investigate that real quick. Please bear with me one moment. So let's see. Are kiku and kikoeru transitive versus intransitive pairs of to listen in Japanese? The short answer is yes. The verbs kiku and kikoiru form a classic transitive-intransitive pair centered on the difference between listening and hearing. So transitive takes a direct object, so the person is making an effort to listen to, and then this is intransitive, to be audible, can hear. Very interesting. This transitive versus intransitive stuff is starting to make a bit more sense. So we just need to write the kanji with the reading of ki, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This has a reading of ki, but the shape's a bit off. Let's redo this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This has a reading of ki. And then here we just write koeru. For total of kikoiru, it's a match. Fantastic. So this is going to be the transitive version of to listen. It's like when you're actively listening to someone or something. So that's going to be kiku. And that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the same kanji. 5, 6, 7, 8. Usually, by the way, between transitive and intransitive pairs, the kanji are the same, but only the accompanying hiragana is what differs, supposedly. So that kind of makes sense, right? I think that's what made me think that they were transitive intransitive pairs to begin with. So if this is ki, then we just put ku there. Nice. So this should be kind of straightforward now because we just need this one kanji that we already know from Gakko. So that's that. That's a total of 8 strokes. That's got a reading of mana. And then we write fu. We apply dakuten to get bu. Submit our answer. That looks correct to me. We'll proceed. So to play as in to have fun is asobu. Asobu. The question is, what's the kanji? So I remember it had 12 strokes. It even had that 1, 2, 3 kind of shape here. And I think we started off with this radical. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The question is, what's here at the bottom? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's just 2 strokes missing here. Or is that wrong? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're missing 3 strokes. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't think that's correct, but let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then it's 12. So this has a reading of aso. And then we put bu here. That's a shame. So wrong radical here. So this is, we need the radical from, that we also see in manabu. So classify that as incorrect. So to go up as in climbing is noboru. And I still don't remember the kanji for this. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This has a reading of no, ho, we put bo, and then ru. So to finish for intransitive, so that's going to be o, waru. Kanji with the reading of o. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seven, 8, 9, 10. 7, 8, 9, 10. Could that be it? So let's put o here. And then we put waru. Oh no. So it's got 11 strokes. That is such a shame. Okay, let's do to look at. So to look at is miru. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a reading of mi. And then we put ru there. Ryori suru is to cook. Ryori suru. The kanji with the reading of ryo is The kanji with the reading of ri is this one. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. What's the kanji with the reading of ryo? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? No, that's from Benkyou suru. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Got there in the end. So this kanji has a reading of ryo, but let's write that more neatly. So this is ri, half-sized yo, followed by full-sized yu, and then ri there, and then suru. Total of rori suru. We got it. Fantastic. So give that a pass. To sell is uru. And I just remember that this has like the same 7 strokes at the end as what you see in to read, which is yobu. But basically you want to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the kanji. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This has a reading of u. And then you put ru there. Fantastic. Now to feel is kanjiru. Kanjiru. The question is, what's the kanji with the reading of kan? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this has the reading of kan. Put ji there, put ru there. So I definitely have some more practice to do on the verbs 3 topic. So I think that would be a nice goal for the next stream. But in any case, thank you so much for watching. I'll probably conclude the stream here. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. If you want to support the channel, that would also support me in continuing to develop the website, lingocommand.com. That's what we've been using today, which also comes with an accompanying iOS app. And in any case, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next live stream. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you. See you next time.